So today, hey guys, it's Kathy again. Sorry. So today we are going to work on a horse. My next animal to be released in my eyeglass holders. These are the colors I'm going with today. Wrestled on what colors to do the horse, so I think I'm going to do a brown horse. So I always need black and white, and then brown, and then the reddish tones, tan, and then a regular brown. What I'm going with, my 4 brushes that I love to use, 2 square, 2 round, and my horse. And I think what I've decided to do is focus more on the face part. I think if you get the face part, then you can do the rest of the body with the fur, the hair look. So I'm going to not spend the time on the video doing those. But so this is what we're going to focus on. And on this one, it's a little different because it's got his snout piece here. Typically, I would take these 3, which look like ice cream cones today. I would take these 3 and set them aside because they have to be glued for later. But I'm going to take the top one because it's going to fit right here, and I want to paint it black underneath, just a solid black so it'll shine through on the nostrils. So that'll be a solid black. You don't even need to, well, maybe I'll do that before I finish, but you'll see. We'll see. So this is what I'm mainly going to focus on here, and I'm not even going to focus on the body. And because I'm going with the brown, a darker color, I'm not going to sand it. All that'll be covered over where the laser, I had flashback on laser. I'm having a little problem cutting here recently, but anyway, I didn't need to sand anything because I'm going to paint over that, and I'll paint the legs down, I'll paint the back. So we'll set that aside. So we've got our face, horsey face right here right now, and I'll do this part last, and we'll get to work on his eye, or his face in general. Now this is going to cover up a lot of this, and you know what I like to do is I like this and the front piece and the back piece to blend as much as possible so it looks like it goes there. So I'm gonna go with this brown base coat. Brush needs a little loosening up there. I'm gonna go with the brown base coat, and then we'll paint everything. And you don't have to be exact on this because you're going to come back with more colors to make everything stand out. So I'm going to do everything but the pupil, eyeball, even over the score lines. And I see I messed up this score line. One, it's off, so I'm kind of glad it didn't go on this piece where it's supposed to. So I went back in and adjusted it. Put this score line on the top piece so it'll show through there. And so I'm going to paint this base coat, and I'm not going to do, I mean, it's okay that it goes into the mane a little bit because that's going to be painted over. That's why I'm not being real exact on that right now. Just trying to get this base coat on. And that's going to go all the way. I only have his bangs on one side, so that's going to go all the way up and down with my base coat color. Looks like my score lines and my cut lines, I'll adjust that with painting, but they're off on my laser. I have to take a look at that. Sorry, I didn't notice that before I set this up to paint, but I'll go back and look at it. But I think I can adjust it. Oh, that's going to be, you know, the mane's going to be there, coming across there, so I'm going to get this ear too. And you can do the mane bangs also in the base color. It doesn't matter, however you want to do it, but since I'm going to come back with a darker color for his mane, his bangs, I'm just going to leave that, and then we'll come down here. Yeah, my score lines are definitely off. Hopefully I can paint it to where you won't notice it too much. It's for my sample one anyway. It'll be okay. I'll have it fixed before I start selling this product. All right, I got my base coat in here. Got that on. And I'm going to get a little bit of that off there, but I want to darken that up. Definitely coming from the center of his forehead, which is actually what's going to be coming down into this, and then this is going to get lighter as it goes down. So I'm going to mix. I'm going to get some of this brown and pull it over here, so I have, or most of it actually, but so I have this for this part here, and I'm going to mix some black in with it because I want it to get darker. I'll peel that off of here, or scrape it off, put more black in. And then actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go upwards, because, that's underneath there, but it's going to get darker as it goes upwards, and this is what's going to be shown here. So I'm going to kind of get this in here, and because it's right here on the front of his face, and it gets lighter in between, and you've got some muscle structure that you can put in there to be seen. It's a little different on a horse. You don't have as much fur detail or hair detail that you're going to see. So you're going to use your dark colors for some muscle structure. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit so it's here, and the line that I'm missing here. Yeah, like I said, hopefully I can cover it over, and then it's going to get lighter as it goes down. So go back over here with some more of my brown, and then I'm going to do some blending up here at the top part. So I want it to be, it's okay, it's going to be covered with black, it's no big deal. I want it to be cohesive, so I'm going to do this while this is still wet. I'm just, adding a little bit of the darker color and a little bit of the regular. This is, I think, a bittersweet chocolate or dark chocolate, something like that, brown. And there, because when I'm going to do this, I'm going to use that same color brown and start down here until it lightens up into here, into the nose part. And on his ears and up here, let me go back to this regular brown, because I'm going to say he probably gets some red tones in up here, which is this red here, and bring it up like that. And there's probably, where I have a muscle showing here, there's going to be a slight, there's just a tiny bit of white on there, but it's going to be lighter there at the top of the muscle, and you can use white, or you can come in with a tan color to lighten it up. There, that got really light, but that's okay. Maybe some, around his ears here, and we'll come back in with brown a little bit, and just to give it some depth and texture. A little bit more of that red in. Okay. All right, and then up into his ears, we've got the brown color, and he's got slightly, I'll put a little darker around the edge, and it's going to be, you know, some of that small strokes like that, so it looks like fur. And then I'm going to come back with the lighter colors on the same brush, tap tap tap, because from the inside, even though it's going to be dark on the inside, I want to have a little bit of light color fur coming from around his ears. Okay, and I'm going to put some lighter color over here at the top of this muscle, kind of blend it up a little bit. Get some this down here with some red. So I'm going to bring some more red tones into the rust, or whatever you want to call this, tones into the horsey here. And I'll bring this in. I'm gonna, it's a lot of light, lighten it up a little bit. And just around where you would see, which I think a lot of that's gonna get covered, or some of that's gonna get covered from under here, but just where you would see some more muscle structure on the horse, it's gonna be lighter around there, and then darker on the edges, and come back in here and get some more of this dark color here. Okay, and then maybe under his eyes, we'll do a little bit more red, and a little bit lighter strokes around his eyes, and just do a little blend in there. Bring that down, and I think this covers up the whole bottom part, so that doesn't even matter. I'm gonna come back over here because you're gonna see a little bit of this on this side where I've got some muscle structure over here, so I'm gonna lighten it up on the edge. Lighter. Okay, and then I'll come in with some more of that brown and just bring it in. And don't be afraid to use the different colors in whatever you're doing to give it depth and dimension. And come back with a little bit darker on the other side of that muscle structure. And you'll see I do sometimes several, if I don't like the way it's looking, several different things. You bring in some of that lighter color around here, around the eye, a little bit of the red. Okay, and see, that's going to be covered. Let me get his other ear here so it matches this ear. That makes sense. So I'll get this base color on a little bit darker, and I'll let that dry. And I'm going to come back with and maybe put a white star on them too. And then I've got to get his black eyes in here, but his eyeball, see if I can get this, kind of looks like he's looking away. I'm going to come in with a bit darker. Let me get some of this darker brown here, but I want to put some more black in with it, so it's almost a two-tone. But this is going to be the main bangs right here. This will be my base color, And it's more of a, it's black and brown mixed together. It's just more of the black than it is the brown, but it'll, because the brown's lighter, it's going to give you a little bit of that gray color. And I don't quite have enough, but that's okay, because I can come in with that darker color and go over it. Okay. I know, it was a little sloppy there, sorry. All right, so it's actually drying up, and I'll come back over that, but because it's going to be, there I do want the hair strokes, but on the outside of the ear, I'm going to come back here and pick up some of this darker color on the ear and bring it in. It almost needs a little bit more black. There, and then I'm going to come in with the little bit of that tan color in from the inner ear. That'll help it stand out, the black that's going to be underneath there on the other part of the horse that we fill in. So we just want that to kind of, and it, even though sometimes you don't see it here, once you spray it clear, those different colors really do have a tendency to come out after you spray your clear coat on it. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to go back and come in with some brown in this main part, get on there and some tap, tap, tap. Because this I do want to look like hair coming down. But then I'm also going to come in with some black on the tips. To give it more dimension, and it looks like I could fill in a little bit more there around the edge. And there, and maybe even a little bit, I haven't used much of this brown, lighter brown color, but maybe even a little bit of that at the top, because maybe it's lighter where the sun's been hitting it there, and then darker as it comes down. Some more on that brush. All right, I just want it to be a little bit darker than what his face is going to be, because it's going to have this darkness here. I'm going to come back and do the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and get this part done, and I'm going to start up here where I had that dark brown color, and then I'm going to start bringing it down, and then I'm going to do some blending, because as I bring it down, I'm going to get some of the just the regular chocolate brown, and then some of that red in here also. And I'm just not cleaning the brush, I'm just kind of putting it all down here together. Now around his snout, or his nose, is really going to be, I'm going to go like a really dark gray or black color there, and I'm going to tap in some lighter colors too. And so I'm just using this now as a base color here, and I probably could put it over the whole thing because I won't go darker there, so I can put it over the whole thing here. Just give it a base color, something to go on top of, get that depth and dimension that I talk about. Okay, so you can see that it's a changes from one color to, I can't even think of the name of it now, where it changes from one color to another color down here. And I want some more of that red up here in the nose, and I'm gonna bring that in with the brush, side to side like there is fur, and then come back with some of that brown. Bring it side to side as I go up, and then come back with some of that darker brown at the top. Okay. Now, down here around his snout, his nose, we're gonna go with some black stipple, I think. So I get a little black on there and tap, tap, tap. And then around his nose, I'm just gonna stipple it so it's over top of this base color. And you'll probably have to do that, you know, several times to get it in here like you want. And it's gonna go over, get on there, get in here, and it's gonna cross over into, oh, that was a lot. Okay, tap, tap, tap. Go over here to this side and get this one good. And then we're gonna bring the two together. This is gonna come down here. Close to his mouth a little bit too. So, get that whole stippling effect there. And maybe even some black brush strokes going out there like that in the middle. Okay, and now I'm going to bring some lighter color. I almost want to get some of this tan and some white, kind of get them together a little bit. And bring this in here on top of his nose. And then kind of like on the edge, coming off of his nose. So I'm going to have some lighter color, so I'm going to have this here looking a little bit. And I want to bring some of the, I want to do the same thing with the red, but I'm not going to do quite as much stippling. Just a little bit down there, and then do some brush strokes coming away from the center. Just go on top of some of these other ones. Actually, a chance to dry a little bit, but then some brush strokes there. Let me follow up with that with the brown, so we have a seamless blend coming in there. And then maybe even it's going to be a little bit lighter. Where's that light color I did? Look, I don't even know where I put it now. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's going to have a little bit of that. That might be too much. A little bit of that light color around the part of his nose that's sticking out. Some brown there. But and have maybe some highlights that you see on the edge. The edge of his nose. And then down here at the bottom, I want it to be lighter. Of close to where his mouth's going to be. And I say lighter here because it's going to be darker underneath here where that score line should have been, or I feel like that score line should have been. It will be on your file if you get it. I will make sure of that. I switched it over already before I did this, actually, because I was surprised to see it. Okay, so I want this to be lighter. So I'm coming in with several different colors here to lighten it up. And then bring it up there like that. Because under, you can see where the marks, where it kind of goes in there, and it's going to be his mouth. So I really just want that darker. There. So, and this, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's see how it's going. There, and of course on this piece, other piece, I'm going to do the black under there so it's black, so it doesn't look like it's not supposed to be there. I think that's a good blend up there, and see a spot I missed over here, and put some brown on, try to get that covered, and over here, and so I just wanted to put a few little brush strokes in. Okay, and I don't know what kind of muscle structure. I guess these really should have some over here with this piece right here. It's probably got a little bit up here too. So I'm gonna put a little white and then come back with some brown just to a little depth and make it a little different. Come up in here. All right, and I need I wanted to put the star up here too, and paint his eyes black. He's got eyelids that cover most of it, but he does have some black pupils. And this one's gonna be bigger because my scoring's off. I'm sorry, I hate that. I have to go check out that machine as soon as I'm done here. So we're gonna do it like that. And on mine, it just looks like he's looking off a different direction. Okay. And as always, which I'm gonna come back with a little bit of brown over here over his eyelids, or on his eyelids, I guess. And put a little of the darker brown in here. I don't want it too much because I'd rather have the pupil stand out. Okay, but as always on my animals, I get a little white on the end of the brush and just give them that little sparkle there. All right. Oh wait, because I want my star in there. Where's it going to be? Up above this, I think. See, I forgot to put my star in. I'm going to do it right in here. And you know, they're not usually even. Be whatever pattern you want from it. I'm just going to come back with a little bit of dry brush marks to simulate hair, fur, just around the edges. All right, that's going to be my star. And again, I'll put the black in here. And there's my horse. And when this one really, especially with the dark colors, should pop really good when we get the clear coat on it. Thanks, guys.